Hello and welcome to Crafty Corner Episode 2. Today we'll be covering 2.1 Alpha, Alpha 2 in this case. And so let's go ahead and get started. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and run Crafty. I'm inside my virtual environment and Crafty is running. You'll notice that auto start is currently disabled. Also, the server is up and ready to go. So what we're going to discuss today are a lot of the command line options that I've ran and created in here. You can always access all of the commands by simply hitting help, and that will show you all of those. And you'll notice that they are all currently documented. So if you say, for instance, help list users, guess what it does? It will list the users. You can also say help set password, which is also a new command, and that will set the user's password, and it gives an example. You have to give the username of who you want it to set. This is similar to the Linux command of password. You can also disable auto start, and of course you can do the opposite, which is enable auto start. All from the command line now. This is in addition to the other features that we covered in the last video. In this case, this is going to help people who live in the command line a little more. Or maybe you just, you're already SSH in the server, you're working on other things, and you're like, you know what, let me go ahead and change some options. So I'll go ahead and show what all of these do. Sorry, I don't have a clear, I should probably make one, I guess. I'll have to see if I can do that. Anyway, so what we're going to do now is we're going to, for instance, list the users. And currently there's only one user who is the admin. No, you don't see his password, but you do see the role he's in. And excuse my dogs for barking at air. That's what they like to do. So there's that. And we're also going to, in this case, let's set the password for admin. It's going to ask for the new password, and we'll say test because it is ultra secure. It's actually not, but we're going to pretend it is. So now you'll see that the password is set for admin, and on the web console they can now log in as admin. We can also enable and disable auto run. That's simple. Also added a new function. I don't know if you picked up on it, but check update. And what that will do is that will actually reach out to the servers and tell you what version you're on and what versions are available. So you see that on the master branch we're still running 2.0 RC2, same with the beta. The snaps branch is a little updated, it's to 2.1 alpha 1, and the current version that I'm on is 2.1 alpha 2, which has not been sent anywhere else, which is why you don't see it anywhere else in the list. I will probably be pushing this maybe Monday, possibly tomorrow. I honestly don't know how my day is going to go tomorrow, and with the holidays and everything coming up, not quite sure what kind of timing I'll have, but anyway, they'll come out soon. So that's kind of it for the command line side. Let's go to a browser. Let's do Brave browser today. And I'm going to probably sneeze. I'm going to try not to. We're going to now, there we go, look at that. We're going to log in with our new password of test. And this server has actually been running for a while. This is my home machine. Not much has changed in here. We've added the check for updates button up here to kind of mimic what it does. I also have a link for you to just click and you'll automatically go to craftycontrol.com to the releases page and can download from there. But it lets you see where you're at. This will go away automatically by itself, by nature, because the dashboard in the background, it updates and refreshes itself every minute. So this will only stay up for a minute unless you click it and go away. So I've added that. Let's see what else. Oh, that's right. We have the file manager. The file manager was a real pain in the butt, but it is now complete. It took about 4 hours for me to code. You'll see I'm currently in my server. This is one of those things that is set on install. And you see that there's several different colors in here, and I'll explain what they mean. So blue means you can drill down into that directory, and you'll notice it's a directory because we have a folder icon. Files that are red, you cannot touch. Jars, for instance, you're not going to be able to edit a jar in a text editor. So, but the other files you can edit. So like the EULA, for instance, you can click on it, and now it'll actually show you really big what the file is that you're editing, and you can come in here and you can change anything. So like we'll say tacos do rule, because they do. I don't know if they're the absolute best food in the world, but they're close. So we'll hit save file, and that will happen. And now we go back into it, and you'll see the tacos do rule still. Not Taco Bell tacos. I mean, they're great at 3 in the morning, but that's about it. Anyway, so we're going to save the file. And of course, this works on larger files. So if you go into your bucket config, you can change things. I believe that I have a separate permission for the file manager. I think I did do that. So I'll probably be adding a role. And also when it comes to roles, I think I'm going to go ahead and have the ability for you guys to specify your own roles and give permissions as you will. So maybe you make a role called, I don't know, make a role called Brandon, and only Brandon has that role, and maybe Brandon can do everything except one thing, right? Maybe, for instance, he can not access the console, but everything else he can. Like he can start and stop the server, but he can't do any other commands. So we'll be working on that. That's something that I'll probably try to get out this version. Maybe not an alpha state. Maybe that'll be more of a beta state as I start tidying up the code and getting things a little more constrained. One of the other things that we have is we have the FTP server. Now, this is a FTP-S server, so this is actually going to use certificates. It's going to be encrypted in transit, so because FTP by itself is actually very insecure, but this is a really good attempt at making it secure as far as the data will be transmitted encrypted, same as HTTPS, so it will have the same level of protection there so that people who were snooping on the wire can't watch basically your text file streaming or whatever. I'm also still a little sick, stopped up nose. It's that time of year. Anyway, I'm going to make it to where you can change these usernames and passwords eventually. The password I'll definitely have in this version, so you can just click it and change the password. I'll probably make different users also, so you can, maybe the space down here will actually have a list of your users so that you can edit and do things to the users. Maybe you can disable them, enable them, whatever. The port number is a little important to talk about. So port 2121, it's like FTP, but not. Whoops. Talk to him in a minute. So on Linux, you have to be root to use privileged ports. Privileged ports include 21, 80, 443. This is why localhost or Crafty runs on port 8000, and also why the FTP server has to run on port 2121. It could be any port. I might make that a config option. I just chose it because it's easy to remember. So we're going to start the server, and this only takes a second or so. And what we're going to do is we're going to go FileZilla, and we're going to say localhost port 8000, admin, not admin, I'm sorry. This is FTPS user. Okay, password is that wonderful password there, and port 2121, and we'll connect. It's going to make a liar out of me today, isn't it? Oh, I'm an idiot. Yep, I'm an idiot. It stopped. Yes, I really want it to stop. It helps to actually type in 2121 for the port number, right? There we go. And look, now we have a connection, and the certificate's unknown because of the fact that it is self-signed. You'll see that its organization is Crafty Controller. It's in the United States, and it's in Atlanta. And it doesn't match, the host name doesn't match the certificate. And this is true because the certificate is actually issued to your computer host name. So we can cancel this. Let's try something else. I don't even know if this will work. It might work. It might not. What's my computer name? I don't remember. Okay, ptarrant mate. Okay. Ptarrant mate. Quick connect. And it's just being a butthead. So that's fine. Even if you change the host name, it's still going to say that. But you can trust it because it's self-signed. And we'll hit OK. And now you can see that you have all of your server stuff in here. And not really can't see much because it's so small. Let's go a little bigger. There we go. So we have, you can go into your logs and you can see all your logs. You can go into your plugins and manage your plugins. And this allows you to quickly and easily transfer large files to and from the server, delete files, whatever you're going to do. And when you're done, you can just close it out. And I'm not enabling this at startup. It's a security risk to do so only from the fact that the FTP server doesn't fail to ban or anything. So if somebody were to sit there and try to brute force logins, they're eventually going to get in. Possibly. I mean, it could take a very long time. Just depends on how good their word list is. Of course, this is not a word, and this, of course, will be, this is actually generated per install. So everyone's will probably be different. But also, I'm giving you the ability to change it, so it's a moot point, and I will stop babbling. When you're done with the server, just shut it down. It takes a few seconds, and it says it's down. Let's go to the logs, which I've added. Nothing. You can't see it in here. I've got to add it in here, but I do have it. So let's go. Oh, poop. I didn't run it in a Tmux. Anyway, so let's go another command prompt. And let's go to and in here we have the logs directory. Let's go log, and you'll see we now have an FTP log. This is a new log that I created. Guess what it holds? Let's cat that, and you will see that we have the user logged in. You can see what IP address they came from. In this case, it's myself. You can see that I changed my current working directory a few times and the session was closed. And if you uploaded or downloaded a file, you would see all that. So everything FTP related will be done in its own log file, which is easy for you to find and look in. I will put it in the web. I'm going to make a note to do that now, actually. Logs needs to show the FTP logs. The logs page. Okay. So that's going to go ahead and do that. Let's exit that out. And doesn't sound like I've done a lot, but I've done a lot of code refactoring on the back end. One of the things that I've done is, if we go here, there's a new function that I created, do database migrations. So with 2.1, and forward, I'm going to have this little function of do database migrations, and guess what it does? It's going to change your database as needed and update you real time. So like in this case, we're going to add a column of files, and basically we're going to see if we already have one. If we do, then we're not going to try to migrate it because it's already been migrated. But every run, it's going to try to migrate and make sure if it needs to or not. Once this fires off, it's good, and then you don't have to worry about it again. And this does other things like, changes the FTP user and sets that up and all that. So you won't need, starting with this version, you won't need to delete the Crafty SQLite database. I've migrated on the fly, so you don't have to worry about having problems with that and losing your config, losing all your users and everything else. And I will continue to support that. With that said, if you're on version 2, and let's say I release 2.3, you're not going to be able to jump from 2 to 2.3. You're going to have to do incremental updates along the way if you want to keep your config. So you'll have to go from 2.0 to 2.1 to 2.2 to 2.3. Or you could just say bump all that, and instead we will just delete the whole install file, or the Crafty SQLite file, and then just do a new install. Maybe that's a faster option for you if you have like no users and you really don't care. That's easier for everyone sometimes. By then, who knows? Maybe I'll have an export users list where you can export and re-import them. I don't know. Crafty's got a lot going on, programming-wise, but also we are working on getting some dedicated server space in a data center. We're trying to do that so that we can enable online backups in Crafty. So your backups directory here will still do its backing up here, but I'll probably have a checkbox in this area or something that says enable cloud or whatever. It'll be a checkbox, you check it, and then from then on, all your backups will go to your own dedicated server space if we get this to work. And that will actually back up all your backups here local to the server as well as to the cloud. Now, you could still do that now if you go into config and your backups. Let's say you have a Microsoft Live account, and you could change this backup location to be your OneDrive, so you can back up to your terabyte of storage there. Maybe you have a Google Drive sync, Dropbox, whatever. That of course would still work, and that's why I originally, it's one of the reasons I made it to where you guys can change that. But we're going to try to get Nextcloud set up in the cloud so that everyone who uses Crafty Commander will be able to have access there to some server space. Now, Crafty Commander is still going to have a free tier. Do not worry. It will probably be 3 servers now that I've been thinking about it a little more. So you'll have 3 servers. You can get in there and you can use the cloud storage. Paid accounts probably will have more cloud storage. I don't know how that's going to work. There's a lot of things I just don't know yet because we're just kind of poofing these ideas out of the air and working through them and seeing what sticks and what doesn't. Anyway, hope this has been an informative video. This is video number 2. Don't know when the next one's going to be. This one, of course, was 1 week from the last one. We'll see how development goes over Christmas break. I'm sure that I won't be doing much programming. So maybe it'll be 2 or 3 weeks before you guys hear from me again. Anyway, thanks for your support and using Crafty and for watching.